Welcome everyone, join us today as we pay tribute to Wendy Saddington, a powerhouse of blues and raw emotion, whose voice could silence a room and stir the soul. So let's dive in. Wendy June Saddington, born the 26th of September 1949, in Melbourne, Australia. Born the only child to devoted parents, Henry a bus driver and Connie a raincoat maker, Wendy grew up in Melbourne's outer suburbs. After leaving school, she briefly worked as a typist for a private investigator before her passion for music took over. At 17, she began singing in local coffee lounges, drawing deep inspiration from legends like Bessie Smith, Etta James, Mahalia Jackson, Odetta, Aretha Franklin, Nina Simone, and Janis Joplin. Her voice carried the grit of Mississippi Delta blues, the swagger of Motown and Stax soul, and the emotional vulnerability of Edith Piaf. Wendy first gained attention with Melbourne's psych soul group The Revolution, before moving on to Adelaide's genre-blending James Taylor move in late 1967. Though she left before any recordings were made, a recurring theme in her musical journey, her early collaborations were stepping stones for others. Kevin Peake, Alan Tarney, and Trevor Spencer all went on to notable success in the UK as performers, producers, and members of acclaimed acts like Sky. Wendy's pattern of moving on before recordings were made continued when she joined the emerging Perth blues rock group Beaten Tracks. Now relocated in Melbourne, it was Wendy who renamed the band Chain, inspired by one of her idols, Aretha Franklin, and her classic soul anthem, Chain of Fools. Wendy spent about 18 months on the road with Chain, during which time her passionate, soul-drenched vocals, equal parts Earth Mother and Firebrand, began drawing serious attention from promoters and audiences alike. Her striking appearance also made waves in the media. Pop magazine Go Set dubbed her the face of '68, captivated by her dramatic gypsy look, heavily black cold eyes, pale lips, a voluminous afro, and a wardrobe of singlets, vests, worn Levi's, and layers of gypsy-style jewelry. At a time when few women made it onto rock stages, Wendy defied expectations, refusing to conform to the demure look expected of female performers. She had to fight hard, not just for space in a male-dominated scene, but to be taken seriously as an artist. Her refusal to be objectified set her apart. Identifying as a lesbian, she became an early icon of the emerging gay liberation movement, performing alongside drag troupe Sylvia and the Synthetics and at women-only dances. Off-stage, Wendy was described as having a hefty chip on her shoulder, but also warm, witty and thoughtful. She charmed friends with her whimsical doodles, tiny sketches of stars and dots, and a deep well of empathy. In 1969, she made a guest appearance on Fusions, an innovative ABC TV concert series featuring progressive Sydney band Tully. Though it's uncertain if any footage survives, the rediscovery of many episodes of ABC's GTK gives hope that some material may still exist. That same year, Wendy began penning a popular advice column for Go Set, titled Wendy Saddington Takes Care of Business. The column, which ran from 1969 to 1971, received a flood of heartfelt letters weekly. Editor Philip Fraser recalled that Wendy approached each letter with earnest concern. She also contributed interviews, including one with fellow soul powerhouse Jeff St. John. In it, she called out a pop TV show for failing to provide him with a stool, instead forcing him, born with spina bifida, to perform standing precariously on crutches. As ever, Wendy championed the cause, holding the show publicly to account. Wendy's next musical chapter took her into the spotlight with Jeff St. John's renowned band Copperwine, a partnership that finally gave listeners an official recording of her extraordinary vocal talent. She joined the group in March 1970, shortly after the release of their acclaimed album Joint Effort, and shared co-lead duties with St. John during a busy and intense touring schedule that lasted until February 1971. In January of that year, while Jeff was temporarily absent, Wendy took centre stage with Copperwine for a standout performance at the Wallacia Festival on the New South Wales Central Coast. Thankfully, this powerful set was captured and released later in 1971 on festival's progressive offshoot, Infinity Records. The album showcased Copperwine's sensitive and dynamic musicianship, providing the perfect backdrop for Wendy's arresting voice. From the opening moments of Nina Simone's Backlash Blues to her aching, soulful version of Bob Dylan's Just Like Tom Thumb's Blues, Wendy impressed with every phrase. Her ethereal and unconventional interpretation of John Lennon's Tomorrow Never Knows, introduced, amusingly, as a George Harrison tune, added further mystique. One of the most electrifying tracks is "Five People Said I Was Crazy," where Ross East's fiery guitar work, Barry Kelly's shimmering electric piano, and Wendy's spine-tingling wails come together in a thrilling burst of raw energy. The album closes with "Blues in A sweeping showcase of Copperwine's prog blues prowess, capped by Wendy's haunting and deeply felt delivery. Together, the recording stands as a rare and vivid document of one of Australia's most distinctive blues soul voices, backed by one of the era's most versatile and accomplished bands. Later in 2002, Festival planned to reissue Wendy Saddington and Copperwine's live album on CD with remastering and bonus tracks. Although review copies were sent out, the project was shelved due to the label's collapse. By 2005, Festival Mushroom had folded, and its archive was sold to Warner Music Australia. That unreleased CD included both sides of Wendy's brilliant 1971 single "Looking Through a Window," backed by the Aztecs and produced by Warren Morgan and Billy Thorpe. It reached number 22 in September but deserved more. Wendy later co-wrote "Mothers and Fathers" with Morgan for the 1973 Thumping Pig and Puffing Billy album. After leaving Copperwine, Wendy continued performing around Melbourne before heading to New York in late 1971. There, she joined Australian illusionist Jeff Crozier on Staten Island, taking part in his wild rock-infused stage show The Indian Medicine Magic Show. Back in Sydney, Wendy unveiled a bold new persona, often performing with mime artist Teardrop, Morris Spinetti. The duo appeared in Peter Weir's 1972 short film Three Directions in Australian pop music, performing alongside the Captain Matchbox Whoopee Band. In March 1973, Wendy, playing the role of the nurse, appeared alongside Daryl Braithwaite, Billy Thorpe, Broderick Smith and Keith Moon, in the legendary arena performance of Pete Townshend's rock opera, Tommy. Through the mid to late 70s, Wendy became a cult figure in Sydney's underground scene, aligning herself with anarchist drag troupe Sylvia and the Synthetics. A true bohemian, she remained deeply connected to the misfits and outcasts of the city. During this time, Wendy performed with groups like Shango, Blues Assembly, and the Jeffrey Crozier Band in New York. Despite her connection with outsider circles, she embraced celibacy and turned to Krishna consciousness for emotional grounding. While in New York, she became a devotee of ISKCON, adopting the name Gandharvika Devi Dasi. As her spiritual path deepened, her music career gradually faded by the late 1970s. In 1983, Wendy returned to the stage with the Wendy Saddington Band, featuring Bobby Gebert, Harvey James, Billy Rylands, and Chris Sweeney. A second lineup followed in 1986–87 with Angelica Booth, Rose Bygrave, Mick Lieber, and Des McKenna. This version focused more on reggae and toured regional New South Wales. They recorded an album at ENREC Studios in Tamworth, but it was never released due to the loss of the master tapes. Around 1985, Wendy formed a duo with pianist Peter Head, performing regularly at venues in Sydney's King's Cross and Darlinghurst areas. They continued working together occasionally through the late 1980s. In 2002, Head organised a concert for Wendy at the Basement, with a band including Lachlan Doley, Peter Figgers, and Jackie Orsachki. The performance was recorded but remains unreleased. In 2003, she contributed 3 tracks to the compilation album Women in Blues, alongside artists such as Kate Dunbar, Jeannie Lewis, and Margaret Roadnight. In 2012, she appeared on SBS TV's Rockwiz, delivering a powerful rendition of Nina Simone's Backlash Blues. Although her performances became less frequent in later years, Wendy remained a respected figure in Australian music. Her spiritual devotion to Krishna consciousness became a central part of her life, guiding her away from self-destructive habits and toward personal stability. At the Southport Community Residential Aged Home in Albert Park, Wendy spent many years bringing joy to elderly residents, entertaining them and even blessing them with water from the Ganges, as recalled by her relatives. Her final major performance was a soul séance in December 2012, alongside singer Henry Moneta in Melbourne. In March 2013, Wendy was diagnosed with esophageal cancer. Sadly, on the 21st of June 2013, just 3 months later, Wendy passed away peacefully in her sleep, at her apartment near the sea she loved, on the night of the winter solstice. She was lovingly cared for at home by a close friend and longtime flatmate during her final days. She was 63 years old. And there you have it. Though Wendy Saddington may be gone, her voice still echoes with grit, grace, and authenticity. A true original who never compromised. Her spirit lives on in every note she sang and every heart she touched. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Take care and bye for now.